This episode is brought to you by Hasa. Liquid is clearly better. Liquid chlorine is the highest purity, works immediately, has no added cyanuric acid or calcium, and it will leave your pool safe, clean, and clear. And by the bottom feeder professional grade battery powered vacuum system. It sucks to clean pools, so cleaning pools sucks less. Get $100 off with code DVB100.
This episode is brought to you by Skimmer, the #1 pool service software in North America. With Skimmer, you can streamline your schedule, grow your revenue, and keep your customers coming back with 5-star service. Whether you're a one-person operation or an established team, Skimmer is your partner in success. Visit getskimmer.com/poolguy to try Skimmer for free for 30 days.
The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show.
Hi, welcome to the Pool Guy Podcast Show. In this episode, I'm going to go over some effective marketing strategies that you may want to apply to your business to get more accounts, introduce services to your area, and just to gather more clients overall for your pool service, whether it's weekly service, acid washes, one-time cleanups, or filter cleaning services. These are some effective marketing strategies that you can apply. Are you a pool service pro looking to take your business to the next level? Join the Pool Guy Coaching Program. Get expert advice, business tips, exclusive content, and get direct support from me. I'm a 35-year veteran in the industry. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, I've got the tools to help you succeed. Learn more at swimmingpoollearning.com. I'm often asked if the old school methods still work, the door hangers or knocking and going door to door. I would say knocking and going door to door is not really effective nowadays because of the Ring doorbells that are out there. People are going to know who you are before you even knock on the door. I know here in my community, a lot of salesmen, when they knock on the door or ring the Ring doorbell, they'll step back like 5 feet, so you can't really see who they are. You think they're a neighbor coming to ask you something. Open the door and it's some kind of solar company selling you solar panels or whatever. I don't think door to door is effective because people just don't like it. They are busy, and it's something that is not usually done successfully with pool service, in my opinion. Maybe other forms of sales is effective, but for pool service, I think online marketing and even a door hanger is somewhat effective depending on how you're doing the marketing. Are you hanging the door hangers yourself? Are you going on Google Earth, seeing who has a pool and then putting the door hanger on there? But it's not something that's going to get you a huge amount of new service accounts because most people honestly just throw it in the trash without looking at it. You may catch someone who's looking for service or looking to change service at that moment. So it's all about timing at that instant when you put the door hanger on if they're looking for service. And same thing like with realtors, when they do this on people's homes, they put a door hanger and it has to be that person wanting to sell their house at that moment. Same thing with the door hanger for pool service. It has to be someone at that very moment when they see it, they're thinking about changing service or getting pool service at that time. So it's a very finite amount of people that you're going to get with that. So you may give out 1,000 door hangers, and typically a successful ad campaign is 1% response rate. So you may get a handful of people wanting you to give them a bid on their pool service. The most effective, I think, and this is something that takes a long time to build up, of course, is the word-of-mouth marketing. Now, one thing you can do for your existing customers is offer them something like a $150 Amazon gift card if they refer a friend or a neighbor to you. And then you wouldn't give them that gift card right away. You would wait 90 days or 2 months to make sure that the person sticks with you. And then it's pretty effective to market that way with existing customers. If you have enough customers and you want to expand in the area, that's a pretty good lead or pretty good benefit. You're offering the customer to give you a lead. And it's something that is somewhat effective with the word of mouth marketing because most people are going to ask a friend or neighbor, hey, do you know anyone who does pool service? Rather than going on Google or Yelp right away, they're going to ask for any kind of referral from someone they know already that has a pool and pool service. So that's why the referral marketing is much more effective, and offering, a monetary compensation for a referral is the best way to get people a little more motivated to give your information out when someone's asking, or they may be visiting someone's pool in the neighborhood, a friend or something, and they're like, "Hey, your pool looks terrible. I have a pool guy. Let me refer you to him." They know right away they're going to get $150, and so it's worthwhile for them to refer you if they're going to get something in return. And most people kind of want that. There's some people that will just do it because they like you and your service. But paying someone for the referral is much more effective, in my opinion, and I found to be much better than just relying on the fact that you do good pool service. The customer is going to mention you to somebody that needs the pool service. I did briefly mention that Google Ads or a online advertisement might be a little more effective than just putting door hangers on someone's door. And this is where Google Ads come in handy. If you have a website and it's a halfway decent website, by doing Google advertisement, you can set a budget, set your keywords, and then when someone's looking for pool service, that will appear in their area. I would say this is much more effective during the season than during the off season. So the season here is from April through September, and that's probably the primary time you want to advertise your pool service to kind of get someone interested with the Google ad and lead them to your website, and they get a bid. There's a whole process, of course, involved in this, especially when you lead them to your website. It has to be some kind of carrot there as well to get them to call you for service. So I would say giving 1 month free service is probably something I wouldn't offer. It's just because you're attracting a clientele that is looking for a real bargain. And so the 1 month free, typically you're getting clientele that are cheap and don't want, are trying to save as much money as possible, versus maybe offering a free filter cleaning or a free inspection of the pool equipment, something that's tangible, but it's not going to hurt you in any way as far as financially. Because doing a pool free for a month, you lose all that money. But you can offer the other free services that, aren't going to hurt you as much, and it's still going to give the customer something there. Offering maybe 30% or 50% off might be something that's tolerable as well if you're trying to get some leads in your area and trying to secure leads. Because after all, if you were to purchase a pool, you have to pay 10 or 12 times the gross monthly sales of that pool. So paying, giving someone half a month of service is definitely affordable as far as marketing goes from that standpoint. The other thing you can do also is sign up for the kind of paid for services that generate leads. You have Thumbtack, you have Home Advisor, you have Yelp. All these are pretty effective. They are lead oriented. So they have a salesperson that's trying to help generate leads. And there's some fees, of course, and some headache factor involved with these services as well. But they do bring in service accounts depending on your area. Some are more effective than others. So something to really look at and see if some of these will also help generate some leads for your service accounts. Again, nothing is free. You're going to pay for any kind of lead generating service. So just be aware that there are fees involved, but it still will be, I think, less expensive than actually purchasing a pool or purchasing a handful of pools out there. And the Pool Guy Podcast Show has teamed up with UPA to bring you affordable, reliable liability insurance starting at just $64 a month. Get up to $2 million in coverage, and the members of my coaching group get an even lower rate. Protect your business and your peace of mind. Sign up with UPA today by clicking the link in the podcast description. Since I did mention purchasing pools or buying a partial pool route, it's not something that I would say or discourage you entirely from doing. I wouldn't call it marketing in a way. It's just something that's going to help jumpstart your pool service business. Just be aware of that the pools that the person sells a partial route, 10 or 15 pools, may not be the most robust pools or the most attractive pools or the pools that he would like to keep on his pool route, him or her would like to keep on the pool route. These may be pools that, maybe they're far out of the service area, or maybe they're pools that just aren't that great. They're trying to sell off their route. So just be aware of that factor also, that these are not going to be the best pools, but they may get you started in the area you're looking at to expand in. Buying some pools may give you that jump start also in your business that you're needing before you advertise, spend a lot of money on advertising. You may want to buy a partial route. It's up to you. And it's something that I would say it's not bad, it's not good. It's something that can be done in the right circumstances that's going to boost your pool route, and it's something that you have to also have some knowledge of as well. What about spending $2,500 or $3,000 to wrap your truck with a logo, with branding, with your phone number? I would say it may be effective in your area to have a wrapped truck. It's not going to be something that I think is your main lead generator. It's going to help you look more professional when you show up at the service accounts, of course, and it's going to kind of ring of professional when you have a truck that's wrapped. But as far as generating leads, I'm not sure if that's going to generate a tremendous amount of leads. I mean, you yourself are driving around, and how many times have you called a plumber or an HVAC company or an electrician based on seeing their truck driving around your neighborhood? Probably, I would say, not likely to happen. It's more or less you're looking for the service somewhere else or being referred or finding it on an ad on Google. Something like that is much more of a lead in to seeing a truck with a wrap on it and calling that truck for service. What about magnetic signs and other kind of vinyl signs? I think it's something that might be effective. They're certainly much more cost effective than the full truck wrap. If you are getting magnetic signs, maybe you're spending $100 or $150 for those signs, and they can look fairly decent on your vehicle as well, depending on how your service vehicle looks overall. So it's not something that I would write off and say, yes, any kind of signage on your truck is not going to generate leads. That's untrue. They may generate some leads. It's just not going to be the main thing that's going to generate leads for you, I don't think, out there. Again, how often do you call for service based on a vehicle that you're seeing on the freeway or parked on the side of the road? Not as often as maybe going online looking for, a plumber near me or electrician near me. And that's kind of more or less how the leads are generated. And the more effective ways of marketing are online ads versus your vehicle itself. What about other advertisement avenues that aren't quite traditional? Maybe sponsoring a Little League team or putting an ad in your church bulletin. This may generate some leads. I mean, I've seen pool service ads on Craigslist before. I'm not sure how effective that is, but you can advertise there. I think Craigslist does charge you for ads, but it's a really low rate. We used to have something in my area called the Penny Saver. It was a magazine or a kind of a newspaper-ishy thing you could advertise in. And that was fairly effective. Way back in the day, those kind of ads were effective print ads. I'm not sure if print ads are nearly as effective as they used to be, as they are now with the internet. So I think online advertisement is definitely the way to go. And there's a lot less traditional methods. I think door hangers are the only thing that you can still do that's fairly effective. That's, I would consider, old school. But advertising and print ads or in bulletins is probably not going to be that effective. I've seen pool service advertisements on light poles in my area. They just put a generic sign up there that says pool service, $85 a month or something like that. And I've seen those before. Again, I can't tell how effective they are. I do notice them, but would someone call on a blank sign that's hanging on a telephone pole? I'm not sure exactly either if that's highly effective. The bottom line, or how to look at it, is how much money are you spending to advertise and how much return are you getting on your money versus just buying the pool or purchasing a partial route. For example, if you're spending, $2,000 a month advertising and you're getting 2 pools a month, well, you can buy those pools also for that rate. So you want to make sure that your marketing money is actually going to benefit you in a better way than just, one pool per $1,000 advertising dollars, because then you can just buy that pool in some cases or buy a partial route for the amount of money you're spending on marketing. So you want to make sure that the marketing dollars, if you spend $1,500 and you get 4 or 5 pools, that's much more value in that than spending that on just getting one lead. And timing is also a factor. Advertising, I mentioned in season, April to September is going to be much more effective than spending, $1,500 on Google Ads advertising in December when people aren't looking for service. So it's really not that effective. So most of the accounts you're going to gain are going to be in season in most cases. And I would definitely spend a lot less money in the off season advertising because you're not going to get a lot of bang for your buck advertising during a time where people aren't looking for a pool service. So your summertime is going to be where you're going to generate the most leads. In my area, Google Ads is very effective. Also, I believe the Home Advisor is effective in my area of California. I think Thumbtack is fairly effective. So there's those services. I think they're more area dependent of which one is more successful or effective in your area. So I would definitely lean towards utilizing those services that are effective in your area. Ask other pool companies in your area. If you run into someone at supplier, how do you advertise? What do you use? And if they say they use Thumbtack, ask someone else. They say they use Thumbtack, then that might be effective. Home Advisor might be effective in your area, it may not be. So again, there are a lot of these paid for services are area specific, and sometimes you have a really good salesperson working for Home Advisor in your area that's going to generate a lot of leads. And it's one of those things where those leads also have to be, once they generate those leads, you have to be the first person, like Thumbtack, for example, to respond to get that lead. Otherwise, it goes out to like six or eight people, and usually the first person that does the bid and get there and does the job will get that lead versus, everyone gets a chance at that lead. It doesn't work that way. These lead generating services are kind of like a shotgun when someone's going to look for something versus a specific, like Google Ads is specifically going to take them to your website. These other services go out to many people sometimes at one time, and you have to bid against other people. So just be aware of the kind of differences in advertising as well. I would research all these companies and the effectiveness. You can go online and research them in your area and see what would be the most effective way to spend your money on advertising, whether it be door hangers, whether it be the services, Google Ads, or even getting your vehicle wrapped or getting magnetic signs. These are all ways of getting your name out there. I'm not saying that wrapping your truck and spending the money may not be worth it, but if you think about it and you spend $3,000 to wrap the truck, if you get 10 leads from that truck in a year, that's not a bad investment. But if you wrap the truck and get, one or two leads that year, it may not be the best way to spend that money. If your goal is to accelerate your accounts and get accounts that summer, there may be more effective ways than wrapping your vehicle and thinking that you're going to get 20 hits that month from people seeing you drive around with your truck wrapped. It just doesn't really work that way in most areas. Looking for other podcasts? You can find those on my website, swimmingpoollearning.com. Just click on the podcast icon on the banner, and there'll be a drop-down menu with over 1,900 podcasts for you to listen to at your leisure. If you're interested in the coaching program that I offer, you can learn more at poolguycoaching.com. Thanks for listening to this podcast. Have a great rest of your week. God bless. This episode is brought to you by HASA, providing products that deliver clean, healthy water for every aspect of everyday life. The bottom feeder battery-powered vacuum system, portable, powerful, and only weighs 12 pounds. And Skimmer. Get Skimmer, America's #1 pool service software. Podcast listeners can try Skimmer for free at getskimmer.com/poolguy.